Welcome to the Justice Files, where we take you behind the scenes in King County's criminal justice system. I'm Kimberly Hill. There's a new option in downtown Seattle for police officers dealing with someone suffering from a mental illness or addiction. It's called the Crisis Solution Center. Downtown Seattle, a mentally ill man refuses to get off a metro bus or steals a candy bar from a convenience store. Even though it's a minor offense, until now, police have had few options.
These people who go off their medications or are having issues, they do something that brings attention to themselves. They get loud, disruptive. Regular citizens become concerned. They don't want to deal with it, obviously, so we get called, we come in, figure out what the situation is, what's going on. In the past, it used to be you had to arrest them if they committed some kind of a crime. Really, the only thing we could do was to send them to jail.
Now there's another alternative. The Crisis Solution Center, a 16-bed short-term facility designed to stabilize people experiencing a mental health crisis.
What the Crisis Solution Center allows us to do is when a police officer encounters somebody who's committed a minor offense, but is obviously having symptoms of mental illness, to bring them to a place that can offer them a helping hand and a way out.
At the center, the person receives mental health counseling, medications, and services to stabilize them.
We can start working with the person. We can see if we can identify some needs that they have, housing, mental health services, substance abuse treatment, make sure that they get those services and hopefully break that cycle.
Until we opened this center, our bad options were jail, which was expensive and slow. People got out, they were worse off. It was the emergency room at the hospital, which was expensive and not helpful, and it took beds away from people who had medical emergencies, and the streets. And we know the streets are not the default system of choice that we should have for the mentally ill either.
Now the center offers a voluntary therapeutic alternative.
We don't take people into the Crisis Solution Center who have been involved in the commission of major felonies. We don't take in people that are doing violence to other folks. These are basically minor misdemeanor offenders, but they languish in jails. They repeatedly cycle through our emergency departments, and the principal problem with them is not criminality, it's a behavioral health illness.
The center is expected to serve more than 3,600 people a year. It's funded through King County's Mental Illness and Drug Dependency Action Plan. 70% of 911 calls are now made from wireless phones.
911, what are you reporting?
They provide your general location to emergency dispatchers, but not your address. Now you can give 911 your address and other important information ahead of time. It's called Smart 911. It allows you to create your own safety profile.
If you have hearing or speech disabilities or mobility disabilities where you're going to need extra assistance, that type of information is helpful for the emergency responders to know going in.
The system is provided by King County. It's private and secure, and you can create your safety profile in many different languages. Go to smart911.com and register today. A new program in the prosecuting attorney's office is designed to help kids who've been in trouble stay out of jail and do a 180 change. The key? Lessons from others who've made those same changes in their own lives.
I left home at 14 years old. I had my own apartment before I was 15. 2 cars, Cadillac and a Lincoln before I was 16, and a baby. I grew up fast, but I grew up in these streets of Seattle.
It's not easy pouring your heart out to a room full of strangers, especially when your life story is all about breaking the law.
I sold dope most of my life. I never gangbanged, but I had all the gangs around me because I was the guy.
And so at age 14, I started smoking weed every day, started getting drunk, getting into fights, having a real bad attitude with my mom, with my teachers, people in the community. I just had an attitude where I just did not care.
As a kid, Stephen Thomas was on his way to nowhere in a tough Chicago neighborhood. Fast forward 10 years, Thomas is a practicing lawyer in the King County Prosecutor's office. Now that's a 180.
I had an understanding that if I did not make a change in my life, I was going to end up dead, I was going to end up in jail, or I was just going to end up simply wasting my life.
In this process that we go
These presenters all have the same credentials, which can be summed up as been there, done that.
I wanted to be what I wanted to be because I could do that because I'm in high school. How old are you?
Their audience is young offenders arrested for the first time, kids who are about to have their first encounter with the justice system. And this new King County program called Program 180 is doing everything it can to make sure that does not happen.
As a prosecutor, I have the discretion to decide when to file a case and when to hold back on filing. And so the deal with the juveniles is that if you go through the 180 program, we won't file that case, and you'll avoid the stigma of being charged with a crime and the stigma of a criminal conviction on your record.
I got caught up for a gram of dope and a gun, right? This was a long time ago. And I had to realize that the decisions that I made back then affect my life even today.
You have a phenomenal opportunity, as the prosecutor said.
The goal is to be able to walk away and feel that you created a pathway of communication to the hearts of these kids. We're not crazy enough to feel that we could actually change or turn every kid around in 4 hours, but we can get a connection to create a pathway of communication to the heart of that child.
One of the most meaningful things these kids go through is breaking into small groups, dialoguing, journaling, getting their feelings out on the table, and getting support right back.
You told me something that really got to me. You're surrounded with negativity, right? You're surrounded with it. So the fact that you're so young, but you're surrounded with so much negativity, but yet you got something inside of you that doesn't want to head that direction.
It's an arrow. My life, I've been in a good direction, and I just keep getting sidetracked, and I just keep getting into stuff that I shouldn't be getting into, and I just gotta remind myself to keep just going up above what other people are saying is cool, above what other people are saying I should be doing.
I like that a lot. I like that a lot. Good job, good job.
We are singing to these kids and hoping they like our voice, and they turn around and say, you know what, I want you, and we can start working with them.
Hanging out with bad people or doing bad choices. Some of them can make you do the wrong things or get you doing wrong things.
Just to get them to thinking and then hopefully being able to communicate to their heart. Not their head, their heart.
I was going in this direction, and I decided I was going to turn around and I was going to do something different.
Program 180 steers kids away from the criminal justice system, a system that can be a time-consuming and expensive due process we all pay for.
We're going to measure success one kid at a time.
Any way to stop feeding people into the system saves money and can turn lives around.
Working with pets can sometimes teach you a lot. The Pawsitive Works program is designed to help homeless animals and the kids who train them.
Roscoe, leave it. Good boy.
If you've ever trained a dog, you know it takes a little patience. For these dogs, there's added incentive. They live here, along with dozens of other homeless pets, at King County's Regional Animal Services Pet Adoption Center in Kent. They're waiting to be adopted, but first, some basic dog manners.
They're learning to sit, down, wait, leave it.
Skills that might catch the attention of a forever family.
Sit. Wait. That's my boy. I have to get him to train so he could get adopted. You know, I don't want him just to be in a shelter, locked up all the time, you know? I'd rather have him have a home and someone to love him. Sit. Wait.
There are lessons on both sides of the leash. The kids are on juvenile probation. Working with the dogs helps them choose another path.
I'm learning something new every day with a dog.
We're working on teaching them skills that will help keep them out of trouble and make them more engaged in school and work.
Yeah.
Communication, teamwork, also when they're working with the dogs, responsibility.
Leave it. Good boy, Roscoe.
They relate to the dogs much better. I've just seen these teens that I've been working with just really apply themselves to the dogs and take it very seriously and just rejoice in the progress of the dogs.
These kids really get a great deal out of engaging with these animals that just need a little bit of love, a little bit of consistency, and a chance to please, which is a metaphor for these kids. It is a great opportunity.
The kids work with the dogs 3 days a week for 5 weeks. It has an impact both for the pets and the kids.
I just see them walking out of the classroom just standing taller, smiles on their faces. It's really cool to watch.
Good boy, Roscoe.
The program is a partnership between King County Superior Court, Employment and Education Resources, and Regional Animal Services. To find out more about adopting a pet, visit kingcounty.gov/pets or call 206-296-PETS.
Thanks for joining us for the King County Justice Files. I'm Kimberly Hill. Please visit us online at kingcounty.gov/KCTV.